Hi, I'm the Wandering Newbie. It's time for more Record Keeper. Today we have an FF2 event called Better Days Gone By. I can't really tell you what the theming of this event is, but it just seems to be general theming, maybe surrounding Scott and his brother, whose name I forget off the top of my head. Jeff, maybe. Yeah. It's an FF2 event. We get these like once every now and again. I legitimately forgot his name. Is it Gilbert? I feel like Gilbert's right. Gordon. Okay. I was having like a moment there. Where did I pull Gilbert from? Gilbert is Edward's original name, which probably came from last night. Okay, there we go. We figure it out eventually. Howdy. Actually, not yet. Still pending. Unfortunate. I finally submitted for my second emote. Soon. It's a powerful one. It's one that I came up with and was like, no, this is it. Like, a lot of people presented ideas of, oh, get a Big Dave emote, or this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, those are good ideas, but they're not what you want an emote to be, which is versatile, usable everywhere. And then it came to me in a vision. And I was like, there it is, that's perfect. Yeah, it's Lil Mac. Because though I've never streamed it, I really like Punch-Out. But actually, on that subject, I actually have another plan that I'm working on. That's going to be a bit, though, because I like write scripts more or less. But anyway. I don't think I've ever streamed it. I LP'd it. I don't know if I ever streamed it. absolutely adore the GBA boss theme. This version of the GBA boss theme. The other version is weird. The Gigas are just getting ready to deck somebody. Could end this faster. But if I ended this quickly, we wouldn't see this perfect opportunity for the use of Blast Burn. Did I use Cannon Party plus Convulsions on this on purpose or not? Oh, you know. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Who could say? Blast Burn. Blast Burn is an ability that I barely ever remember what it looks like. Well, it sure was. For this tower? No, in this tower in the game, it's the three main characters and Minwoo, because Minwoo dies at the end. Unless you mean the next fight, which in that case, I put the party together that worked. Again, I have not played 2. Worm. Wormula. Hilda's here. Hilda's here because Hilda's a dancer. And that's what's important. I actually trimmed down my my follower list a bit. I got rid of some people that haven't logged in for a while, and I pretty much never use those soul breaks. Another thing that I wish they would do for soul breaks is if there's a button for your people who follow you to just go in and say, purge everyone that I don't know. Whoop, that's wrong. Purge everyone that hasn't logged in for like 30. No, 30 is maybe a bit too small. Like 100 days. There's a lot of those. Oh, that's wrong. Wait a minute, actually. You get out of here. And there's the weird boss music. That one boss theme where I'm still really not sure what they were going for. Powerful. Is this all you do in your house? Thank you. Record material. Is this all you do in your house? He does have another attack. I don't know if it's any better. Alright, no, he also just has a single target. He just decided to quake 3 turns in a row. Bigger quake because it pierces defenses, so it has a different multiplier. So as an aside, I'm actually running this with no specialized accessories. Just to show that you can actually get through these fights without accessories that sort of cancel the gimmicks entirely. Now mind you, if you get hit by one too many quakes, yeah, you're done. It feels unlikely. Orb. Consider orb. Lamia Queen should be marginally more acceptable as far as everything goes. Lamia Queen comes with that Same gimmick that she always does has very high evasion, so do yourself a favor and go magic. Why did you order that way? Oh, that's so weird. Sorry. Icons or not icons. Pictures ordered in a very odd way. It confused me. Threw me off. Alright. I believe the high evasion on Lamia Queen, I don't know if that was a thing in the original too, but might be trying to reflect on the fact that she is an illusionist. Though, that could have been a thing into and still being reflected on the fact that the Lamia Queen was an illusionist. There's no reason for those two things to be... What's the word I'm looking for? Separating from each other? No. Yes. And there goes the bit rate. Mutually exclusive. Thank you. Yeah, stream seems to be holding up today, which is the only thing I can hope for. This battle theme is always so good, though. Isn't this a mobile game? Correct. Don't tell anybody, but I'm using an emulator. Yes, this is Final Fantasy Record Keeper. It's a mobile game. Is it bad? No. Well, it has some design issues, but I think the core gameplay is fine. This is the good Final Fantasy mobile game. Opera Omnia is fine. It just has a sketchy gacha. Yeah, as you're seeing here, Lamia Queen just does a lot of physical attacks. Apocalypse Tail actually gives Lamia Queen a buff. You're gonna want to hit that with an attack mag debuff, or else she'll go out of control. Maelstrom Bolt, though. Finish this flashily. Flashily. Or, you know, not finish. Lamia Queen also likes to do sleep and confuse effects. Just highly recommend equipping accessories. How are you still alive? To dodge that stuff. There. Die. Go home. But yeah, for the most part, Record Keeper's fine. It can be a little hard to get into nowadays from the ground floor, just because there's a lot of content in it now. Like, there's things called realm dungeons that are just little slices of each game. And like, for me, I'm like, there can't be that many realm dungeons because, you know, I've been doing them over time since the game came out 4 years ago. But like, if you actually sit there and look at it, there's like 1,000. uh, 1,000 mithril. 20, that's not even 20. How many is that? No, it's 20. 20 full pulls on the gacha machine. If you're familiar with other gacha games, you get the characters for free in this. Most are fine and usable without anything, but they become more, they come into their own a bit more once you pool some of their gimmick moves from the gacha. I'd like to show off how you really kind of don't need that stuff to clear fights. You just need 1 or 2 decent things, and that's it. Most are clearable with nothing. As long as you have a nice, rounded team. A team that debuffs, a team that DPSs, a team that heals. A roaming warrior that gives me what I want. I just need to follow more culinary curiosities. It seems like some of the ones, excuse me, that I was following just switched away from them. Also, I'm gonna try and pronounce this right. Bubsla. Don't be afraid to like ask if you're curious about anything. That's what I'm here for. Like literally, I started these streams up because nobody was doing like solid groundwork intro streams to this game, and I've kept doing them. for this long because, hell, somebody should. There we go. I was just fishing for a specific friend summon there. This one is a neat one that gives me a big attack buff and Protect and Shell, which, it being a Final Fantasy game, you can imagine that Protect and Shell are very useful. Oh, also Haste. I forgot. That's the other thing. Protect and Shell, useful. Haste, even more so. That's really cool to hear. To be honest, I did actually kind of have a thought earlier, like last week, of picking up Pokemon Masters and kind of enjoying that, being like, oh man, I'm like, for all intents and purposes, playing like 4 gacha games now. I should drop one. And really, if I had my pick, if I was not doing these streams, it might have been Record Keeper. But, I can keep 4 going. I just really kind of half-ass most of these. Except for when I prep for this. Like, Record Keeper, how much do you play a day of Record Keeper? I don't know, 10 minutes? What? Yeah, just like about 10 minutes? Alright, how much do you play in a week? It's 10 minutes a day, but in a week, probably 8 hours. How is that? Well, on Sundays, in the prep for Sunday streams and on the Sunday streams, I play a lot more. Anyway. Well, the interesting thing, Zane, is that they might. Like, on the one thing that they said on the 5-year anniversary stream in Japan is that we're looking to introduce difficulty 300 and 400 fights to the weekly events. And it's like, yes. Yes, do that. Give me a reason to use all the bullshit that I have. I look forward to seeing what those fights are like once they drop in Japan. I haven't been keeping up with Japanese news outside of, like, bounce changes and the like for a while because, like, what do I care? It's all the same. But now that those fights are dropping, I may actually watch a video or two for the first time in, like, 2 years, it feels like. Yes! Double charge. Give me the biggie. So Ultimate Ultima is a really nasty move. It's a 70% current HP gravity hit. That's one of the more common moves you'll see in this fight. Apocalypse Ultima is the real scary one, but we'll get to that once we see it. Just hit the same people, whatever, who cares? Oh, yeah, give me that double cast. Nice. There we go. Also, nice kite. That's a hefty draw. Excuse me. Six-star glint and an awakening. Well, probably if you only hit the glint, you might have been pretty upset, but that awakening. Mage Earth Awakening on top of that. Man, these quick charging on sync are making this fight whiz past. Oh, okay, so here's a nasty one. Either Tyro or Titus are going to die here. And I think I'm going to try and save Titus. Just to finish the boss off faster. We'll hit the boss with a double enfeeble. Oh, wait. Okay. So, Apocalypse is a 70% current HP. It's nasty because he fires it off pretty quickly after the 70% current HP. So somebody might die. Alright, and then we finish this with the biggie. We might finish this with double casts. No, we finish it with the biggie. If Maria uses Awakening with Ultra with a W cast LMR, that's going to be a ton of damage, right? If you hit the W cast, yeah. I'm actually interested. How's that interact? How's the Awakening interact with the USB? It probably still double casts, but just doesn't use any uses, which would be the USB doesn't trigger. Alright, there you go. Sadly. Doubles don't stack with Awakenings. Damn, that sucks. But also, understandable. Would be way overpowered. So in that regard, since Maria's USB does nothing but give her some stat buffs and a hungry double, don't cast it. Just save up for the awakening. Keep it in your pocket. That way, once you come out of the awakening, you should have enough bar again. So you can just pop into the USB and use up whatever ability casts you have left. Real fast. Alright, almost done with event 1 out of 3. I'll probably hop into the elemental dungeon real fast, because that'll be really fast. Also be a nice breather in between that and the dream fight. The dream fight is rough this time around. But oddly enough, I don't think the damage of the dream fight is very high. You just have to be on top of everything. If I had better in-realm buffs, I could have run Min Woo in the Dream Fight and done a lot more, but sadly, I don't. But anyway. It's good coffee. I moved into drinking decaf again outside in the mornings because my slight eye twitch came back again. So here's one tip I'm gonna throw this out there when you're doing the submission here. First person who gets your turn, cast the wall roaming warrior. Doesn't matter who it is, do it. I've been doing this entire event on speed 2. Well, it's gonna be a shorter video than normal. But yeah, do yourself a favor and do that first, because whatever this guy does as his turn 1 will just destroy you otherwise. I tried multiple times to be like, alright, what if I do this and that and the other thing? Then I could get this off turn 1, get my buffs up, but no, it just isn't worth it. Your execution has to be so perfect. Alright, so first Ultima, and that's going to be blocked by the Magic Blink from Hilda. This team has to work up to its damage. But once we hit our damage threshold, this team pops off pretty well. This song is so good. I don't think it's my favorite Final Fantasy boss music, that's for sure. It's up there though. Damn it, Gordon, why do you have to have less HP? Again, it's always hard for me to just say FF14, because whenever I say FF14, I feel like I'm cheating. You ever think about how Furion can just fully apply that USB now? He has Unholy. He can utilize Unholy. It's weird. But yeah. See how Furion like almost doubled his damage. Furion's Glint is very good, but you can only really maximize the use of it if you're hitting weakness. Yes. Gordon will be fine. Actually, Gordon is fine. Enkidu, our faithful companion, will never leave us behind. And now look at this complete unit that is Leon. Just near quad nines. Joseph's fine. Should probably recast Roaming Warrior. Should put that one out there. Just gonna put that one out there. From that wild beefy hit that Furion just took. Nah, just finish it. We're done here. Man of Snow. Man of Snow. Give me a moment. I had to check something real quick. Huh. How bizarre that that is happening. Okay, yeah, that's a problem across all of Twitch. Actually, let me disconnect. Maybe it's a problem with my router. Let's find out. Yeah, okay. Twitch just isn't giving preview images for streams right now, and I just want to make sure that that wasn't a problem that I was having. Actually, I dropped frames there for a second. Just for a second. That's weird. But that also might have been when I opened up something or another. When I did things, it's fine. That also, weird, there's a problem with Twitch. It might not just be at me at all. Let's prep for the speedrun video. Pre-prep. Just a little bit of prep. Make everything look nice and smooth. I didn't actually try this fight, but if there's a problem, I have a sub-in that should make it go better. But also I have 2 awakenings, so I'm not worried. Alright. Bookmarks. Event calendar. 15. And then Fest begins. And we have a week off. Nice. We have a week off, but then there's a 7 event and a 12 event in the same fucking week? What? Alright, whatever. So that's it for the FF2 event. Next event will be 15, which I think adds core? I think that's when core gets added? Maybe. Either way, I'll see you then. Okay. Let's swap out these images so that a video can be started up. Whoop, not Greg. Greg always stays. Greg actually never goes away. Fun fact. Hi, I'm the WanderingNewbie, and it's time for more Record Keeper. Today, we have another one of those little elemental proving grounds. This is going to be a very short video. In fact, cut, remove, don't edit here, newbie in the future. We're going to make this one solid cut. Hi, I'm the WanderingNewbie. It's time for another one of those elemental proving grounds. This time it's ice because, you know, we just had the chilling request, so on and so forth. Pretty sure I didn't actually look at this fight at all, which I should probably do right now. Actually, where the fuck's my party? Where did I store that? Does anybody know where I parked my car? But yeah, let's just beat this real fast. Raises its attack and magic. Alright, appears to be slightly different, but whatever, I'll wing it. Slot 1 and 5 get snorted out of the battle. There we go. This is the stance. This is called element. Oh, yeah, 102-2. And then after this, we do have the dream fight, which will be a hoot. And then after that, we have the banner review, and I'm going to be pulling on the the two realm stuff. Hopefully hitting more Furion stuff. I don't have his awakening. I could have his awakening. Consider if I had his awakening. Okay. I feel like some of these hints have gotten better as of late. Like the specific mention of Ace Striker here. Maybe I just haven't been reading these, but... Furion's Awakening is coming with Fest. Well, piss. But what if I got it? I could still get it. You never know. How fucked up would that be? No, Zane, I understand what you meant. But what if I got it? An arrow. Okay. An arrow. Will Alara get a turn before I eat shit? Well, signs pointed out. Now we stay alive. Just gotta go through all these animations again. This is the one problem. These aren't doing a lot of damage, and that's concerning. Hopefully Laguna can fix that. I mean, they 80% boosted attack, more so because of the way that boosting actually works. Oh, you know, just gotta be good. Yeah, when you attack with an awakening, with the chain up, with everything else going, and you don't break damage cap, it's minorly concerning. Gotta keep the go fast going. Alright. We're getting there. The numbers are large now. So what's the point of snorting two people away? There's like barely any time left. Yeah, we're gonna pop out of awakening mode. Oh, at the buzzard! It was good. Avion, hello. You don't have much of an idea? Well, we finished up our first 2 events for tonight. But we still have our last one, which is a more of a special kind of done. Yeah, damn. I can never see. I was so close. I was so close to that final reward that I really don't care about because it's Gil. And, well, let's just say Gil's not real. Is this a gacha game? Yes. You don't draw for characters. You draw for equipment for the characters, which also leads to super moves for the characters. Which kind of dictates who you can really use nowadays, but... my brain. Sorry. Can I get Surge from Chrono Cross? No. Sadly, it is just Final Fantasy properties, and even that has some restrictions on that. This is mainly because this game is done by DNA. It's not made by Square, so DNA had to sign contracts with Square whenever they want to do new stuff with characters. Here's a fun fact of how bad their contract is. Their contract only lets them work with games that aren't currently live, which means they can't do a lot with 14. Whenever they want to do a 14 event, they have to get Square to sign off on a bunch of stuff, and it sucks. We have not had a 14 event in approaching a year. Like, we never got a... They did most of the content for 2.0. We had one Heaven's Word event. And then... we never got a Stormblood event. And we haven't gotten a Shadowbringers event yet. It sucks. That's my one issue. But yeah, we're about to jump into a special dungeon, which I'll explain a little bit as we get to it. Hi, I'm the WanderingNewbie. It's time for more Record Keeper. Today, we have another dream dungeon. This time for 2. And the fight is the Imperial Shadow, which it's kind of weird that this has become such a thing in Record Keeper as a boss, because it's just a trap monster. It's just a very rude trap monster. But anyway, this guy is entirely magic based and does mostly fire, ice, and lightning. Does have poison, holy, and dark, but those are more rare. If you can build your accessories for fire, ice, and lightning, you can actually make out pretty well. Ultimate Incantation gives him an attack magic buff, which can be easily removed with a double attack magic dance. And haste. The haste is fake. He already has 650 speed. You can just ignore it. Ultimate Intercession is only used once, but does give him for 8 seconds a huge defense resistance buff and Protect and Shell, so you're gonna want to bring some way to remove those. Dream Holy does Silence and Interrupt. Dream Dark does Blind and Stops. These are punish moves. If you're in a phase for too long, he'll use these on the whole party, but he does have scripted ones that he uses earlier in phases. The Dream Holy will only ever hit slots 1 and 5, so just don't put your spellcasters there. And Dream Dark will always hit slots 2 and 4, so don't put your melee people there. It's that simple. Dream Flare is just a very nasty move that he can use. It hits fairly hard. You should be bringing plenty of magic reduction for this boss anyway, so that's about it. Fairly simple. Bring a attack mag down dance, because he does that buff often enough, and bring that elemental resistance. If you have decent healing, you'll survive pretty easily. So Avion, the way that this dungeon works, and it's actually pretty neat, is the boss has pretty ridiculous stats. But when you bring people that are from that game to the dungeon, they get stat boosts. They get a little bonus for being there. It's called Realm Synergy. And the more people you bring, the weaker the boss gets. So you're kind of incentivized to try and bring as many people from the realm as possible, which is a bit limiting team building wise, but you're rewarded for doing it. And we're going to be doing this fight 3 times, just with a increasing difficulty each time, where the 350 is actually extremely rough. There's been a couple of these dream fights where I've not been able to clear the 350 just because of how hard it was. Just for one reason or another, the boss just deletes me in a later phase. Alright, let's get the title screen out here. Put the Qatar in the cup, and hide Greg. Yeah, there isn't too big of a penalty for bringing like 1 or 2 people, but you do need some people from the realm in order to make it doable. Well, I mean, one reason that both things kind of want you to have Hilda is because Hilda's the only realm dancer. But I run her as mostly a healer 9 times out of 10. There is said big buff. This lesser difficulty level is generally a bit easier, so I'm probably not going to remove that buff. You'll watch him kind of melt now that my buffs are up. You're thinking of All the Bravest. Yes, All the Bravest is a garbage game. And somebody who played that and beat it in 2 days. So that's really what All the Bravest is. Oh, there were, air quotes, DLC levels you could do. It's not worth it. He has a lot of scripting buffs at the start of his phases. So if you're moving the phases as fast as this, it kind of doesn't exist. Dream Flare might mess me up, actually. We're fine. Wave goodbye as he melts into the ground. And then mattering on how far you get through the boss, you get rewards. That's the other very nice thing about this dungeon, is you get incremental rewards the further you get through the boss. So you don't even need to clear the boss. Not surviving a certain amount of time for doing a certain amount of damage. Percentages of the boss's life. So like jumping into the apocalypse, I can show that real quick. So you see like at 10% here you just get 5 rubies, which these are used to buy high level abilities. At 20 you get another 5, at 30 you get another 5, and some of these motes, which are used to power up characters. 40 you get another 5 and 5, and then 50 they're like, alright, you got halfway, here's a big bonus. And then 60 is like, alright, we're gonna give you some orbs and then those motes, and then you know, orbs and motes, orbs and motes, orbs and motes. And then you beat the boss, and here's some crystals, another big set of motes, and then another big set of rubies. It's pretty solid. This is a really smart system that I'm really happy they introduced, of like, alright, we're going to introduce these really hard fights, but you don't need to actually clear it to get the rewards. Let's say you get to 99%. Oh, well, that would suck if you just got nothing. So instead, you get most of the rewards. And on top of that, you'll note that when I cleared that last fight, I got completion and mastery bonuses. You won't get the mastery ones because one of the conditions is clear the fight. The only condition is clear the fight. But you'll still get the completion bonuses and the first time clear bonuses. So you'll even get that. Alright. Now for this fight, because he hits kind of harder, I'm actually going to be subbing in an off-realmer for some boosted defense. And to be a dancer, to actually remove the buffs that he does. I accidentally cleared this because I was watching a stream while I was putting this together, and was not paying attention. Usually I back out so I can clear these on stream. Except for the 350, of course. The 350 is like, alright, if I'm going to clear this, I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to take the win. Take that W. We have to think for a moment. Okay. Yeah, Kite, that's pretty accurate. If you get all the rubies from all the difficulties, it's about 1.5 abilities. Which is a lot, considering that when Torment 2.0 first came out, you weren't getting enough for one ability unless you were clearing the hardest difficulty of the Torment. That's auspicious. Not actually being able to clear that first attack means on the hardest difficulty that's going to hit very hard. But once we have our debuffs on, we don't take too much damage. Oh, shit. I was putting down a coffee mug. But what if? Faith. I talk shit on this Glint. Was there coffee in the mug? Yes. It was good coffee. It was one of my sort of bootleg mochas that I made in my Keurig. I put a like sort of 3 parts coffee, 2 parts hot chocolate, stir it up. Are any Keurigs worth it? I think they're fine. Here's my general review. A nice brewed pot of coffee is generally going to be better than a Keurig, but if you aren't going to make a whole pot of coffee for yourself, which that's me living on my own, Keurig's fine. It gets the job done. Confirm that this cup, though, is cracking up that leaks water. I'm going to have to toss this cup out. Alright, what phase are we on? Middle of phase 2? That sounds about right. %. You're gonna not actually need that anyway. Oh, well. We're gonna eat this on the chin. What's the clock at the top mean? That's just something that they include in a lot of recent events. It's just a timer. Except it stops whenever animations play. Imagine that every time an attack occurs, it happens in a split second. That's technically real time. We like to call it DNA time, which is the company that makes the game. There's the holy I was talking about. So that's going to be an interrupt and a silence on those two. There are fights where this timer actually plays into it. In that you get rewards on how quickly you clear the fight. But for this one, it's just actually, it's a good use of timing buffs. Like for instance, I cast that defense buff with the original character here in slot 4. So now I know that, okay, we're getting close to the point where I need to recast this defensive buff or I'm going to eat shit. Okay, we can't remove the defensive side of that buff. So we're just going to have to hold the lesser damage that we're going to be dealing here. Just die already. Just prolonging the inevitable. Well, just overwrote my buff, my debuff. But I think Furion and Maria should have this right here. Yes, we're done. A similar thing, Avion. It used to be in this game. So there were a lot of bosses that wouldn't do anything for 1 or 2 turns to let you actually set up. And what a lot of people would do is a mechanic called hit and run, where they would walk in, do auto attacks with the entire team, and then run from the fight. And since auto attacks are free, they would keep doing this over and over again and just build up meter, because everything holds over. Like, you keep your status when you run. So by doing this over and over and over and over again, they would start the fight with like 3 full bars and just remove it. So much so that they actually created custom dungeons that were just that. Okay. And now, for the final version of this fight. And you'll note that that last one felt long and was 37 seconds. What if? Almost double that time. Who's ready for a real challenge? Well, eventually they did have to, like some of the extremely harder fights in the game, they made it so you can't run from them. You either die or you clear. Because they can't have people just destroying all the content that way. Okay. The opener for this is actually very rough, but once I get past that, it should go a little bit smoother. Alright, I think you go first. Meltdown. I think I slipped the Crushing Tango in here, Reaping Scythe, and then Windmill Slam, Divine Veil. Ultimate Incantation. This is for building meter. And then we windmill Slim a dance, and perfect. Got him off before his first attack. Alright. Damage will be slow. For a bit. Damage does pick up though. Damage eventually becomes real on this party. Pretty real. You'll see some big numbers. Not Grand Blue bit. But Final Fantasy bit. I love how bad the multiplier on this entrance will be forever. We don't do that soul break for the entrance, Okay, where is Double Trouble? I gotta think for a moment. That. We removed Intercession, so we need to get that back up. Sunfire, and then Lord of Darkness. Again, I apologize for the pauses, but I needed to actually think. Slightly realer numbers. Next time Furion's turn comes around, we'll probably utilize that in order to recast this. We'll remove that, and then we need to recast Wall. I'll keep Tyro up. So you do a little damage here. Soul Break will refill that and give everybody a dodge. We need to remove that. We're in phase 2. So we safely avoided the phase 1 issue of we're going to hit that wall. And now that we're in phase 2, well, that's less of a problem. A little bit of a misplay on my part. I should have waited until Maria's BSB actually wore off. That way I'm building maximum meter. So, when I said that this team will ramp up, specifically, both Furion and Leon have passives where the more they attack, the more their attack goes up. Which normally, this is bad. Fights don't last long enough for that to matter. But in this scenario, we're fighting for a very long time. So that actually comes into play. This is a problem. I think we just entered phase 3. Which means you're gonna get interrupted, Leon. And it's gonna hit, ultimate fire. We have no more passive healing from Furion. Phase 3 is all piercing. Yeah, which means everything is going to be hitting way harder than I want it to. There's the Dream Holy. Yep. Alright, it's time for our faithful companion. I was going to lose the buff. Alright, so that's that, and then Ultimate Dark is going to come out. Or Ultimate Fire. But we healed full. Or close to it. And get a nice buff out of it. And our good boy has a nice instant heal. And I'd say it's just about time. So our damage has gone down a little bit, and that's mainly due to, yes, it is time. Dispel. One more Divine Veil to make sure we don't die. Crushing Tango. Goodbye. It's time for numbers. We don't want to stay in this final phase too long, as you might imagine. It's a bad place to be. We're going to hardcast this again. You wait. Everybody else just DPSs. Tyro is holding action for a very important reason. There it is. We don't want that buff up too long. That buff is very nasty. He's gonna flare. This will blink it. We're gonna kerplode him. Or he did holy first. Right, okay. Nonetheless, here comes kerplode. It's fine. Alright, so that must be his next action. Next action is Flare. Which, Hilda will be fine. She doesn't get hit. And then this might finish it. Fire? I guess I don't know his order of abilities at all. But what if? There we go. Again, damage isn't outrageous in that fight. It's just a matter of, do you have the damage in return? Oh, Lord, that went very well. Yeah. 1,500 gil. I mean, also, you know, the ill-gotten gains that I already had gotten from that. Which, how much are in here again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then there's 20, so there's 160, which I think is just enough for an ability. $180 is an ability. Okay. So you need to clear, like, one other thing, which if you've cleared the highest level, you're fine. Touched by darkness. I have a lot of rubies. Correct. I don't invest in a lot of stuff. I should. Lunar Ifrit will probably be invested in pretty soon, as well as Dark Valfor. Chain Tornado probably will be a good one to pick up, as well as Chain... Is there no Chain Fire Aja? Is there no Chain Fire? Oh, there we go. Chain Fire Aja. Okay. It's at the bottom for some reason. Anyway. Let me open up Discord. We got V-Prisoner in here. For banners. Numbers. Hey, y'all, you want to talk about gotcha? Let me preload these. I really need to get a Apollo Justice says gotcha .mp4 for when we do banner review. Correct me if I'm wrong. That would be a very choice thing to have.
Possibly.
Well, anyway. So banner 1. We have Maria's Awakening, Sagittarius. Alright, hold up. Don't tell me. Is that 64? Yeah, that's 64. 15 magic, dark, non-elemental attacks. Temporarily infuse the user with the power of Earth. Enter Awoken Earth mode. And cause every third Earth ability to trigger a follow-up. I'm not even trying to pronounce that. Dealing magic, earth, non-elemental. That breaks the damage cap.
Yeah, so just a standard DPS Awakening with an OSP overflow cap.
Yeah, on the third hit. Yeah, it's fine. It's solid. It's earth boosting.
Does its job.
Yeah.
It's really characters that have Hungry Cast is what we like to call these USB formats. Before they get these Awakenings, have been having kind of a rough time getting them to fit in, just because Awakenings have double casts built in and they don't consume any hones. Those are considered the same type of buff as far as the game is concerned. Though
yeah.
I guess you could say, like, since this is only single use, you could just use your doublers afterwards or before.
Exactly. I would actually... Mattering on the fight. Yeah, it's a hard call. So Emperor has a wind boosting rod because he flip and flops between elements constantly. You can tell by the fact that
he's just fucking flopping between elements in this one too.
Yeah, if you can tell by the fact that it's 15 magic, earth, wind, dark, non-elemental. Increase the caster's earth, wind, dark attack levels 30%. Grant Awoken Imperial mode, causing every second earth, wind, dark ability to trigger a follow-up resist break, which I'm going to guess is an Imperial.
Yeah, I'm going to check real quick to see what it is.
Actually, is this... I always click this button. No. Right, this is just...
Okay, and you are... There we go. Yeah, causes Imperil for 10% for 15 seconds, depending on what you use. So if you use an Earth, Wind, or Dark attack, then you follow up with a 10% reduction to their resistance to that element.
Which, of course, is very handy for a character that is working on that element in that fight, but is also a DPS.
Yeah, like, I would consider this an incredibly good generalist awakening just because it can also help everybody else out in those elements.
Yeah. Meteor Shower, also 64. Deal 3 massive earth attacks to 1 enemy. So that's your 3 big hits. Arcane out of 10. Very simple. Moving on.
Maria loves blowing up the world.
She blows up the planet every time she casts a Soul Break.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, Emperor gets a 3 big hit. Earth, Wind, Dark, because those are his elements.
Arcane Soul Breaks, for the record, are a type of Soul Break that uses 3 bars. They can only be cast once, but they do either 21 with a big finisher or just 3 really big hits.
If you're capping out, they're effectively 30,000 or 300,000 damage, which is a lot. That's except for some, like in the worst case scenario, it's a quarter of a boss's life.
21 hit arcanes get really, really dumb if you pair them with an awakening.
Yes, because that causes those to break damage cap. And Gordon has Realm Chain.
Of course he does. He's been support for a while now.
He's been support for a while, and Realm Chains have uses. I don't care for them, but they exist. It's still an attack mag up.
Yeah, but the idea for chains is that they increase your damage based on how many hits you inflict on the boss. And for Realm Chains, it is if you have characters from that game in your party, then they are all contributing to the chain, and they all get to reap the benefits of the damage boost.
Emperor's USB is 10 magic, Earth Dark, do an attack mag, Crush, temporarily reduce the cast time for the user's magic attacks, and cause Earth abilities to trigger a follow-up, Anguished Rose, dealing 4 magic, Earth Dark, non-elemental.
This is a really good Earth one.
Yeah. It's, I like the Crush. It means you're not going to be taking much damage for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, something along those lines.
If he is in the party with Hilda, he needs to be careful because, you know,
Dancer.
Enfeebling Jitterbug is attack mag.
But aside from that, it's good and is effective in Magicite.
Yeah, the quick cast helps it along considerably too, since, you know, that attack magic crush usually doesn't last for a while.
Hilda has a instant cast, big Medica, with a defense 100% buff, and Last Stand.
Last Stand is just guts.
It's just good. I think that this doesn't help too much in the Torment, because the Torment's entirely magic-based, I want to say.
Yes.
But outside of that, very solid for a number of fights. Crushes generally last 8 seconds. Thank you.
Yeah. That's why Emperor having quick cast is so helpful for that.
I rarely... I have 1 crush in the entire game. And it's on the blank, and it's not elemental, so I rarely use it.
Uh-oh.
This is fine. Instant cast heal plus guts is outrageously useful, and the 100% defense buff also works. Glints, 6-star, protect shell haste, gets you started, keeps you going.
Yep. Just very standard, very, very solid suite.
Glints, for reference, are instant cast. The 6-star versions can only be used once and cast no bar. The 5-star versions can be used 3 times but cast 1 bar. Cost 1 bar. Gordon has a 6 physical fire and attack mag breakdown, because Gordon he's a buffer and a support. This is what he has always been, and is what he will continue to be.
Same caveat as the Emperor, you just want to be careful if you are using this with Hilda in the party.
The main thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the Torment boss has a tendency to buff himself, so that's why so many characters in here have that attack mag debuff.
Yeah, it's just always important to be careful with that stuff. Though, this also means that it frees up Hilda to bring Crushing Tango for that fight.
Why?
This type of glint sucks ass.
So the reason that we say that these are bad, when it says the user's earth attack is increased by 2, that means they get a 20% attack buff. There is a status that we were talking about earlier called In Element. In Element is a flat, I think, 50% buff on base
50%.
level 1 to abilities and 80% buff to soul breaks at level 1. There are other types that are just this, except it doesn't in element instead of the 2 earth levels. This is because this is a very early one that they have never changed for some reason. And you just look at this and go, well, Jeff over there has the same thing, but 5 times better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, every time this comes up, I get a little mad just because I know there are better options. But I will always say that the nice thing about the Earth attack level by 2 is that it does stack with an element. So if you have an element from another source, this does stack. And then moving on to Elmar's passives, the Emperor gets a double cast Black Magic and Darkness abilities because again he is Elemental and Darkness. This is very fine for him.
Very, very helpful for him.
On the sword side of things, significantly more damage, which it's a sword. Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
This sword, which gives him a buff when using rods. Game.
Sometimes they don't think.
Deals significant more black magic damage when using a rod, which is, it's fine. There's enough rods in the game. Maria gets double cast offensive earth abilities. That's her whole shtick, so yes. And Gordon gets begin hasted and remove delay from the user's actions for 1 turn.
This helps. He's a debuffer and buffer.
Yeah, Gordon likes to get his stuff off. Like, generally, you're taking his start with 2 bars on him. You are getting something off at the beginning of the fight. That's why you want this instant cast. So
significantly more is 20% boost.
Yeah, 20% more damage, which is wild. If you have people that have that, like, I think I have one for Fang that's like way more damage if you have a spear equipped. Like, fucking just use a spear, use an off-realm spear. You'll deal more damage. But yeah, this is fine as well. And on a whole, welcome to the Magic Banner. This banner is almost entirely magic with some debuffing and healing on it as well. But there's a lot of earth on here.
Yeah, if you want magic art, this is a good place to go. I mean, Fest is coming up, but yeah, we have to have that caveat now.
Titan actually says in the chat that LMR is 25% boosted damage.
25%, my bad.
Yeah.
20% on certain record materials.
It's weird how the terminology isn't universal. It keeps happening. Well, did you know I have her USB?
Yeah. It will definitely stack with that.
Moving on, Banner 2. These are real now, for the most part. Soul of Darkness is an arcane. 3 big dark hits, and then that's it. Weird that this is like weird turn for Leon, where a lot of his higher level stuff are lances.
Yeah, like also Leon's been having problems.
How so?
As of late. Well, no, it's just like problems getting tech, but that's just more because 2 is yeah.
It's because 2 gets a event every 6 months. Minwoo continues to be like the DPS white mage, and reflects it by getting an arcane. That's it. White mages generally don't get arcanes. They get like 5 USBs, but they don't get arcanes. Minwoo gets an arcane. Thorns of the Rose is a very good generalist arcane. It's 3 big hits of Holy Ice and Fire, and also is a fire boosting sword, which, people want those.
Also, for arcanes, it doesn't matter how many elements they have, they will always do the same amount of damage.
They have the same multipliers. This is balanced because you can only use them once. Weapon of Darkness is his
Weapon of Darkness is his
Brave.
suit.
Sorry. Brave. It's his Brave. 10 physical dark to one enemy, temporarily lower attack and mag a large amount. Weird. Temporarily reduce the delay of the user's actions and enter brave mode. So to clarify again, the reason for this is in the Torment Dungeon, which you want to go in with as many synergy people as possible, the Torment for 2, the boss does an attack mag buff at the start of every phase. If not multiple times in a phase. So
It also just makes me a little bit tilty because, where's this attack magic support in realms that don't have dancers?
Shut up. The Brave type is based off of using dark abilities and is a debuff based, with the original doing nothing. Number 1 is a defense break. Number 2 is a defense break. It just hits a little harder. And then level 3 is a defense resistance crush. And each of these other levels, he takes a little bit of damage when using it, because he is a darkness user. That is his gimmick.
It's fine. The defense resistance crush is well worth the effort.
Yes. And I'm assuming that debuffs work the same way as buff stacking. Yes. So if the boss does an attack mag up and you do an attack mag down, it negates and then lowers. It just overwrites it completely.
It overwrites, yeah.
And then, things stack. If you do a magic breakdown, it'll stack with the attack mag down. If you somehow get an attack mag mine down, those exist, that will also stack. As long as it is a different combination of stats, they stack. Minwoo gets a holy boosting robe with 10 magic. The white threw me off. It just broke my brain. 10 white magic holy non-elemental, which means it stacks off of mind instead of the magic stat. Temporarily raise the user's mind a large amount, grant up to a moderate ability boost to white magic abilities, and cause white magic abilities to double cast, which means consumes 2 uses but is casted twice.
It's very self-sufficient. This is a really good USB for him if he needs DPS.
Yes. Record Keeper is very kind to give a lot of these offensive white mages a big mind buff on their USBs so that they can be self-sufficient.
White mages were not traditionally supposed to be DPS, but this is an angle that they're going for because everything needs to be DPS, so here you go.
Yep. Rush of Arms, I believe. No, this is just another USB that he has that I was unaware of.
Oh yeah, this is a USB 3.
Small boost to holy damage. Sword. Stop me if you've heard that one before. Deal 10 physical holy fire ice to one target. Temporarily increase the user's physical damage a moderate amount and enter military paralysis. In this mode, temporarily remove the delay of the user's samurai and knight abilities and cause the user's samurai and knight abilities to heal the user. I believe it's 10% of the damage they deal.
This is dumb. This is really, really dumb.
It is instant cast.
Yeah. You just get to have instant cast moves for a while. This is just stupid.
Just instant cast for a while. Heal yourself. Use, what's it fucking called? The 5-hit heal move. And just heal your party on an instant cast.
Level 3 Raw right in their fucking face.
It's Buckwild. Oh, excuse me. Small boost to poison damage. Pirate Scourge is 10 physical. So, okay, for those who are joining in and aren't aware, poison is an element in this game, but isn't, because there's a whole slew of content in this game that is all dealt around elemental damage, and there are no poison dungeons.
Because they never made a poison component for that, and they have just never supported poison since, really.
Yes. But anyway, 10 physical poison, water, non-elemental to one enemy, temporarily set the user's critical hit chance to 100%, and temporarily cause users' thief and sharpshooter abilities to double cast. This is because they're kind of trying to lean Layla over to water. This will become more evident down the line when they add a water thief move.
It's slowly become real. Quina gets an awakening with poison in peril. Okay, now just give me the poison chain.
They're gonna make a poison dungeon, you know it. It's gonna be fucking wild.
Alright. All it had
poison dungeon that's also weak to poison. That's it. It deals poison damage and it's weak to poison.
This is fucked up. The second I leave, now they take poison seriously. I've been defending this thing for years.
Anyway. So this is interesting, because the crit hit chance 100% is viable, and the guaranteed double cast is also viable.
Yeah, it is just flat a good USB any way you stretch it.
The main problem is that, like, the trade-off for this crit hit chance is that Layla's only an element is actually poison.
Yeah.
They're leaning her towards water, but she has no in water.
We will be getting Water Thief later on.
And I still don't think she has an in water at that point.
One sec. I think she has an awakening in Japan at this point.
Doesn't mean it's an in element.
Well, it's not an element because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, see? So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
Oh, it's on a glint. Okay.
Oh, good.
Great.
But anyway, that said, a 100% crit chance is wild. And on a double cast as well, you can really do some work. Especially double cast once we get that thief ability, which imperils every other cast. That's just imperil every cast for her.
It's very interesting because the sharpshooter bit was definitely like, okay, we want to lean her into water because we don't have any water thief tech yet. But then they came out with water thief tech, and so this still works because it's also using thief.
Yeah, actually, chat makes an extremely good point that I never thought about. This is just Orlando USB.
It's just Orlando USB, but poison.
Anyway. Record. 10 jump, wind, lightning to one target, temporarily remove the delay from the user's jump actions, cause the user's Dragoon abilities to increase the damage of Dragoon... Wait, what? Cause the users of Dragoon abilities to increase the damage of Dragoon abilities used by the user and their allies on the same row. Holy shit, Dragoon meta.
Ready to meme the Dragoon team.
Dragoon meta. Dragoon meta.
This is a fun one. If you are ready to just make a team entirely out of Dragoons, either lightning or wind, then Rickard's got your back.
This is dumb and I love it.
It's really stupid, really creative, and... Ugh.
I'm not going to say that this is like top tier, but you could definitely do some clown trees with this.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Water Dragoons, though. Leon's Blade. That's it. Force of Darkness. So this is, again, Leon's gimmick. He is very much a blood magic sort of man. So he gets an Empowered Infusion Dark, and then also gets a 6k HP shield.
It's very strange considering that Demon's Cross actually doesn't take a whole lot of health off of you after repeated uses, but this could ramp into it nicely, and, you know, Crimson Cross still exists.
Yeah, HP stock. So, for those who are unaware, what this does is when you lose, like, he has that 6k HP, say he took 4,000 damage, he would immediately heal 4,000 damage and then have a 2k HP stock.
Yeah, it's just reserve HP.
So, when he uses his blood sword techniques that drain his health, he'll instantly get that health back. It's very handy, very nice, and lets you use those techniques. Use those
Physical darkness. Yeah, physical darkness has a lot of self-harm tech, so having ways to mitigate that has just been a thing that the game has been doing.
Do stock stack or would Curata overwrite this? You can't overwrite. It will always keep the highest one, I believe is the way it works.
Yes.
So if you cast Curata on him, it won't overwrite that. Also, that generally won't happen because if he still has the HP stock, he'll be at full HP. So your auto-cast Curata won't go to him.
Yeah, it's just redundant, pretty much.
Yeah. Furian's Guise is still alright. Weapon Specialist is temporarily increase the damage of the user's attack, which I think is actually a pretty significant amount.
30%, yeah.
30% when you're hitting a weakness, and reduce the delay of the user's actions for 2 turns. Because again, Furion is a holy fire ice generalist. He wants to be hitting those elements, and he wants to be hitting them hard. So they don't really give him an element, except for holy for some reason. And this lets him go into almost any element and be worthwhile.
Yeah, it's decent.
And then moving on to Elmars, we have a start Dark for Leon, which again, the spear. He jumps between swords and spears so much. Double cast White from Minwoo. Double cast Light, or no, Start and Light. Excuse me, I got something. That's some Aja. Start and Lightning for Rickard.
He's pretty much a Lightning Dragoon at this point, though he has been Wind in the past.
And then chance for Night abilities to double cast for Fury.
Yeah. Furion's USB on this banner is an apology for how confused his past stuff has been. I would say that his Brave is an apology for how confused his stuff has been in the past. Though this one is just kind of the clincher, because it covers all of his tech.
Yes. They retroactively gave him Night in order to make up for the fact that his BSB and USB 1 both enholied him, and he didn't have access to holy moves.
Physical characters will never get any holy access other than Night.
But anyway, double cast combat Elmar. Ugh, I have it. It's the worst. The game keeps trying to auto put it on. I dove him, and I'm like, no, sorry, dog. 10% boosted physical damage is just better.
Yep.
BSB did not enholy, but it did holy damage. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, his super and his ultra enholied.
Yeah. All in all, this banner is okay. There's some interesting tech on it. I thought there were Awakenings on this, but I guess not. This is the first 2 event since Awakenings were introduced. More 2 Awakenings get added next fest. Banner 1's probably better, but if you don't need Earth Magic and you really want 2 stuff, Banner 2 maybe. But also, Fest is right around the corner. You might want to just save your Mithril. And I just ran out of water. Perfect timing. What if I just keep hitting these?
It just keeps happening. Fuck yeah.
Weapon of Darkness.
Are you ready to be brave?
The Dark Boy. I'm going to jail. Let this be known. Well, actually, what it is I keep, last week and this week have both been ridiculous. I'm going to do my draws on the Fest, my actual Mithril draws, and get jack and shit.
Joke's on you. You're doing the 2 realm banner first. You can get jack and shit there. Your karma will be balanced out, and then you'll be set for the Fest.
Fuck yeah. Final Fantasy Record Keeper is a buggy game. Actually, it's mostly this emulator. It rarely crashes on my phone. This emulator really does not like scrolling. 9 times out of 10, it crashes when I'm scrolling. Well, it's more like 2 times out of 10. it doesn't happen that often, but doesn't happen that often, but whenever it happens, it's always when I'm scrolling. In the name of the rose.
In the immortal words of Guilty Gear, we all know the smell of the game.
I'll take your word for it. Alright, where is that realm draw? Time to destroy my entire being.
Are you ready to get annihilated by a
Wait,
one
what
out
the?
of 11 shit dude? What? Huh. Okay, so you got a backup plan to get your ass blasted?
Did I do 14 already?
Let's see.
Damn, I did 14 too. How many of these have I not done yet? Alright, hold up. Type 0 is done. Alright, we haven't done tactics yet. But we should be getting a tactics event pretty soon. 15 isn't done, but 15 is later. That's literally dropping this a week. 14's done. 13 I'm pretty sure I did recently. Yeah, 13 we did.
11?
No, because I think... Alright, 12 we haven't had an event for that yet since the rework. I feel like we had an 11 event. No, we didn't.
11 was a while ago.
And then I think the rest of these we've done. Alright, to be fair, 11 gets more events than 14.
11's also just pretty much done.
I went into 8 and we just did 8. Yeah, I did that. 6, I'm 90% sure we did. Yeah, so it's like 15 tactics and 11 and 12, I think. Man, the second set of banners have been out for a bit, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
2 must have been the first... Oh, apparently we haven't had a 4 event. 2 must have been the first event that was released post.
It was.
Okay, there you go. Alright. Well, no draw today. Sorry.
It's fine.
Man, we're gonna start actually hitting weeks where I don't do draws. Because there's no deeply discounted draws. Ah, Kite recorded it. Tactics 15, 12, 11, and 4. Well. That was good. Everything went really smoothly today.